Another story that I'm really curious about whether you guys think real people care about it is this redistricting fight. I hear both sides talk about it in very, apocalyptic terms, and particularly on the Democrats now. There's just this rhetoric of, we will fight and sacrifice, and a constant invocation of Donald Trump. I wish I could get on a plane to Green Bay right now and go to a diner, because I just can't imagine real people. This is just a pure process thing to me. So I want to get your view on that. I don't want to minimize it because obviously, as a bank shot has an effect on the real lives of real people. But let me just run through some elements here. Number 13, the FBI asked today by, I think, Texas, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe by somebody in Congress, I think, asked to arrest Texas Democrats in battle over House seats. I can only imagine the escalation of this as a cable news story if FBI agents start walking around Chicago trying to rouse folks. And I don't know what they would do, handcuff them and bring them to a government charter and fly them back to Texas. I mean, that seems ridiculous. President talked about it today and talked about the prospect of arresting fugitive Texas Democrats. Here's the president. Number 14, please.
Trump, nice to see you got off the roof all right.
Yeah.
You said this morning that you probably won't be running for a third term. This weekend, Secretary of State Rubio said that he thought JD Vance
this is the wrong one.
would be a great nominee.
Hold on, this is 16. Kill this one.
Hold on. Nice to see you got off the roof all right.
Yeah.
Hold on. Stop playing this one.
You said this morning that
stop playing this one. That's 16. We want to play that because it's interesting, but I want number 14, please. Number 14, if we have that. And then I also want number 15. So either one's good. In any event, the president said that they may have to address fugitive Democrats, and he said blue states are retaliating. Do we have either of those? 14 or 15?
If Texas redrawing their congressional map would get you 5 safe red seats, means that California, New York, Illinois, and Maryland are all going to redraw their maps to add safe.
Well, they'll do it anyway.
Is it worth it?
Yeah, they'll do it anyway. Why? If we stop over there, they would have done it anyway.
I don't think he's right about that. Do we have number 14 on the arrests? I don't know if we do. I will say this, and Ian, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, or Kristin will, but this is a little bit of a shot in one direction. I understand that Texas is redistricting mid-decade, and that's unusual, but not without precedent. But all these states, like Illinois and Maryland and Massachusetts, the president talked about this morning, they've gerrymandered for a political advantage. So I don't recall reading a single thing about how outrageous it was that some blue states have done this. And the fact that Texas is trying to do it again mid-decade is another form of, you would call it brass knuckles or bare knuckles. But I just don't understand I do understand it because it's the normal media bias, but I don't understand how there can be no proportionality here. And that's basically what the president was saying. Now, I think he's wrong. I think these other states would probably drop what they're doing because I don't know that they're going to succeed. In any event, enough for me. Ian, do you think real people care about this redistricting fight, and they're looking at Democratic efforts, the fleeing Texas legislators, the efforts by Gavin Newsom and others? Do you think real voters are really engaged with this, or is this just an adjunct of the Rachel Maddow Club?
It's pretty soon for me to have data back. Going to get out of the field next week. But when I do, I would venture to guess, and I'll be back on the show, so I'll tell you that most normal people do not care about this, especially those who aren't kind of hyper politically engaged, right? We know that it's kind of close to home issues, things affecting them or their close friends and family. So outside of Texas, I would like to see the awareness numbers on this story more over the impact numbers. But with that being said, for those who are aware, we do know that there's less faith now in government and process than ever. And I think that this kind of effort in Texas and potential retaliation will do nothing more than kind of lay that more out to bear, right? Where the president's saying they're going to do it, so we're going to do it, and vice versa. I think for the average American average voter, that's going to be seen as process in politics, and that's something that we've heard over and over again that they're kind of tired of.
Yeah, Kristen, Ian's rigorous and he likes data. I just like to talk out of my elbow or some other body part. But is your sense that this is an issue that voters on one or both sides care about, or this is really just more inside than like, the rules committee?
Yeah, I think it's pretty, maybe not that inside, but it's close. This is one of those things where people are going to put their jerseys on. So Republicans are going to bunker down, Democrats are going to bunker down. I think it's probably good for both. Democrats have been kind of at war with each other over where the party's going. They can kind of rally around this one thing. You can watch Democrats fly to Illinois and they put on a big song and dance, and to the average voter, they're wondering what's happening. But to a base Democrat who is, annoyed with their party, they're going to come together and rally there. And Republicans, the same thing. They're going to see Attorney General Kim Paxton say he's going to make these guys leave their seats, and they are relinquishing their positions, and the Republicans are going to rally around that because, yes, of course, to your point, the media has been a little bit biased with this, where when blue states have done this, and frankly, when Democrats and others in Texas kind of handled this the first time around and didn't do it the right way, it wasn't covered. So Republicans have that, to rally around. So this is a base play, which is probably going into the midterms. We'll see which base is more radicalized by it. I don't mean that in the negative way, which enthused is probably a better word.
Yeah.
I tend to think maybe Democrats might be, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's definitely a base play, but even for the base, I mean, I'm just confused about the level of passion that Democratic, like these Texas legislators and Governor Newsom, they're acting like this is, really, really, really important as opposed to a process thing. And again, I'm not minimizing control of the House at all, but it is a process story and a bank shot. Want more great clips like that? I've got an idea. Hit the subscribe button, be part of the Two-Way community, never miss a clip. And you can always watch our full episodes, join them live, go to twoway.tv.